Okay, topic 1. Many people visit museums when they travel to new places. Why do you think people visit museums? Have you guys ever visited a museum before? Okay, which one? Can you tell me the names of the museums that you visited? Is it museums in Korea or in other countries? You don't remember the name? Yes.
Car museum.
What?
Car.
Spell it for me. A car museum.
Yes.
Okay, but what's the name of the museum? Okay, like when we go to the palace, palaces have names. Gyeongbokgung and all those. What was the name of the museum? Don't remember.
Yes. But it is in Seoul.
It is in Seoul.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Maybe because Seoul is the capital city, maybe it is the National Museum of Seoul. Let me see. I did some research. Yes, there's a National Museum of Korea and there's Seoul Museum of Art. So National Museum of Korea. How about other people? Which museums did you visit? What are their names? We also need to talk about the types. You said you visited a car museum. What types of museums are there?
History.
Science and history. Okay, science, history. What do other people have to say? Art. And work. Good. Alright. So because I did my research about the museums in Korea, I will also write the Seoul Museum of Art. I'll let you guys go and find out the museums that you visited. So when you do your pre-writing, go and search which museum you visited. Maybe you'll find a way to remember. Okay? Now let's talk about why do people visit museums? When you guys visited the museum, what was the reason? Why were you there? We'll each take turns. Why were you there? Why do people visit museums? Why did you visit a museum? Why? Why do people visit museums? Yes.
We can study with our experience.
Good. You can study something new. Why? You can learn something. You can learn something new. What do other people think? Why do people visit museums? Why did you visit a museum? What was your reason? Yes. Why do people visit museums?
We can see various paintings.
To see various paintings. To see various paintings. What else? Yes, what do you think? Why do people visit museums? Yes, true. Why do people visit museums? To see famous paintings. Okay, to see famous paintings. What do you think? To build knowledge. Good job. To build knowledge. To build knowledge. Yes, Mine? Why do people visit museums? To experience lots of things. Okay, what's one thing that you can experience when you visit a museum? Tell me one thing that you can experience when you visit a museum. Mm-hmm. What do you think? How about you?
There are many collections.
To see many collections. Good. Now let's talk about how can we make museums more entertaining. How can we make museums more entertaining? Let's start at the back. How can we make museums more fun? What can we do to make museums more fun? What do you think we can do? Say that again. You're speaking softly, so I cannot hear you properly. So if there's an easier description of a picture, people can experience what? I don't understand. Like, how can we make museums more fun? Have a different description of pictures. I'm trying to understand what you are saying, but you're speaking softly. What do you guys think at the front? How can we make museums more fun? Let's start with you. Yes.
Learning some knowledge about the museum before we go there.
Okay, so that would make it more fun, so that you learn before you get there, so that you know what to expect. Okay, that's interesting. What do you think, Haram? How can we make museums more fun? Do you guys think going to a museum is fun? I think it's fun too. But there are other people that might not like to go to museums. So we might need to give them a few ideas before they can go visit a museum. So how can we make museums more entertaining for those people?
Usually, museum is consist of three.
Yeah.
But I think if people want museum become fun,
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's okay.
making experience in museum makes the more fun in museum.
Okay, I understand, but can you give me an example of an experience that can be fun?
If I go a car museum,
Yes.
그러면 I can ride 좀
Test drive the car?
yes.
Okay. So you get a new experience of that. Okay, interesting. What do you think? What can we do to make museums more entertaining?
I think they would be more entertaining if they have more attractions.
More attractions? Okay, what can we make different to make it more attractive? What can we do?
Like
Okay, what do you think, Mine?
Make something that people can do.
Make something that people can draw. Okay, such as?
Like stamp tour.
Okay, like a stamp tour. Okay, interesting. What makes museums special? Why do we have museums all over countries? What's really special about museums? Why does every country have a museum? Why do you think it is so? Why do countries have museums? Yes, Junior? Why do countries have museums? What's so special about museums?
Statue.
Statues? Okay, so what about statues? Make a sentence, please, so that I can get a good understanding. What about statues? Like famous statues? Okay, so what makes these famous statues special to the museum? Now I want to know about the whole museum, like what made people to make museums? Why does every country have museums? Different cities, but there's always a museum in each city. What's so special about museums? Yes.
Museums are special because they can not only teach us like books, but also shows us things that we can only see in pictures if we read books.
Good job. Museums are special because from just reading books maybe about war or about cars, you can go to a museum and actually experience that. So it keeps important information, okay, so that people can actually get to see what happened in the olden days. So they always keep ancient stuff in museums. So that's what makes museums special. You don't just see sculptures everywhere. You might have to go to a museum to see a few famous sculptures, okay, or to learn about history or war that happened a long time ago. Okay, what's another reason? Why did they make museums all around countries? Jong-un? Why? Why do we have museums all around countries? Good, because they are used to show a country's culture. That is why the first thing foreigners do is to go to visit a museum so that they can learn and have a better understanding about a country's culture. Good job. Sojin, what do you think?
We can learn the country's history, culture, and its special thing like buildings and some statues. Yes.
Okay, very interesting. True that. Okay, so museums are a safety point to keep ancient stuff or to preserve history. Okay, they are really important to preserve history because they keep old stuff for generations to come. Okay. Do you think all museums are important? Remember, I think there's one museum at least in each city. So, do you think they are all important? No? Why did you say no? Why do you think museums are not important? Like, not all museums are important. What's your reason? And what do other people think? How about museums of other countries? Which one do you think is important? Your country's museum or another country's museum? Which one do you think is more important? Hmm? Which one do you think is more important? Yes.
I think our country's museum is more important because there are our country's historical products.
Okay, good. Your country's museum comes first because you need to learn more about yourself than you do other countries. Do you guys have like collections of art or I don't know, paintings, whatever, photographs, whatever? Do you guys like have a collection of those? Maybe like a photo album where you keep your photos and all that. Any collection? No? So you guys don't go to photo booth and take photos? You don't? Why? You can go with your friends to a photo booth and take a photo. Keep it as a memory. So you don't have pictures or photo album where there's pictures of you as a child? No? Okay. Let's move on to knowledge. Vocabulary. What's the meaning of knowledge? Who can tell us? What is knowledge? What is knowledge? Choose a word. We have knowledge, we have collection, contemporary art, Renaissance, modern art, and artwork. Yes.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. What is knowledge?
Some information that in my head.
Good. Knowledge are all the information and skills that you've acquired through your education level. The more you learn every day, the more you gain knowledge. So that is the definition of knowledge. It's a combination of skills and the information that you've learned over the years. How about collection? What is a collection? I asked you guys if you had a collection and you guys said nothing. So what is a collection? What's a collection? What do you think it is? It means to collect something, and in this case it means a collection of art. Whether you are collecting paintings or drawings, if it's a collection it means it involves art. And Renaissance, what's the meaning of Renaissance? What does it relate to? Renaissance. Okay, Renaissance is the revival of art and literature under the influence of classic models in the 14th and the 16th centuries. So it's the revival of art. Back in the days, art was done differently, but now it has evolved because of technology. Okay, and modern art. What is modern art? Artistic work during the 1860s that was used as practicals or perspective of new lives. And the last word is artwork. What is artwork? You guys don't know artwork? Good. It involves illustrations, paintings, drawing, anything that includes artistic work. Painting, drawing, whatever it is. Okay? So, I will write down some free writing and explain how you guys should do it. First, you will need to write your introduction. What do we usually write on the introduction? Who can tell me? What do we usually write on the introduction? Good. You need to share your ideas about the topic. So in this case, what is our topic about? It's about museum, so you have to explain what is a museum. And remember, I want 3 lines. So this is only sentence number 1, and you can give examples. What is sentence number 2? What are we going to talk about in sentence number 2? We are still on the introduction. Then you will share your opinion about museums. Your opinion or your ideas about museums. That is sentence number 2. And how about sentence number 3? Then you tell the reader, in this essay, I will write about da 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 da. Okay? So those are the 3 lines. First, define or explain the meaning of what is being discussed in the topic. Then share your opinion. Have you been to a museum? Have you visited a museum? If you have, tell us why, and how was your experience. Okay? And then now when you get to the body of the essay, you can talk more about, have you ever visited a museum? And also tell us, what do you find interesting? What do you find interesting at the museums? And then body number 2, how can we make museums more entertaining? You also have to give examples how to make museums more entertaining. Also tell us why people visit museums. Then your conclusion at the end is going to be summary. You have to summarize your last thoughts about the topic. I want 3 introduction lines, 5 body 1, 5 body 2, and 3 for conclusion. So we'll be working with 3, 5, 5, 3. Okay? Now I'll let you guys brainstorm your topic. Any questions? Yes. Yeah, you may search.